Hey guys, so welcome back to another video. And as always, today we try and look at uh, a couple of good stocks which are a part of the Marcellus Little Champs portfolio. So these are basically small cap companies with a track record of clean accounting, generating good return on capital, and in general, these are profitable companies with a lot of potential for growth, right? And at Marcellus, so if you've read their books, Diamonds in the Dust or Coffee Can Investing, you know that their thesis of investing is to look at companies which have a history of clean accounting, of reliable leadership, and in general, there's a very stringent process that goes into screening companies for Marcellus. So I'm very comfortable buying stocks which they've put their money in, and even if there is short-term gain, so they always insist they handle money for people's retirement fund. So there is a lot of you know a high level of stringency, I think, I guess, is the right word, that goes into how they pick their stocks, right? And yep, so let's jump straight into it. And the first stock that we're going to discuss is Suprajit Engineering. It's a small cap company, has a market cap of 4,700 crores. And key points, so what does the company do? Single product. It started as a single product. Over the years, largest supplier of mechanical cables to the domestic two-wheeler and passenger vehicle market. And as you see, 65% market share. Definitely they have a considerable moat, and you can always come to Screener and read up more on the company. And jumping straight to the fundamentals, if you look at sales, let's look at things year on year. So sales have gone up consistently year on year. If you look at operating profit, it's the same. And if you look at profit before tax, you're seeing considerable growth year on year. Net profit, the same. So no red flags in the company. The stock has compounded at a rate of 33% year on year, which is amazing. So you're basically doubling your money in around 2.5 years, right? 5 year CAGR is maybe a bit of a concern, which sort of tells you that the stock has done a lot of its growth in maybe the past few years, right? And yeah, it's sort of imbalanced, however you look at it. But 3 year and 1 year return is exemplary. Same thing with sales. If you look at the balance sheet, let's look at cash flows. So again, net positive cash flow for the past few years, definitely a positive sign. So looking at the fundamentals, there is nothing off with the company except for a slight drop in ROC, but it's still above 15%. So it falls right into the Marcellus, filters for looking at companies that reinvest their money back in their business. And let's jump straight to the chart and try and see if we can look at levels to be accumulating the stock. So right now the stock is trading at a price of 345 roughly, and we're facing a little bit of resistance at this level of 350, which could be a psychological level. So this 350 to 360 is an area of value which people could be tracking, especially this level of 345. So right now, as you can see, the stock has gotten rejected like almost to the dot at this level of 345. So the first bullish sign definitely is to break above it and retest this level for continuation, right? I personally might wait till the stock touches this level of 325, and if that breaks, then maybe this level of 300 is an area of value and also a psychological level, and definitely an area of value to be monitoring. And I'm expecting us to run into resistance at roughly 370 to 375. If we're able to close above it, 385 and 400 definitely. Areas of values which a lot of traders will be tracking. So expect resistance at these levels. Let me just drop the EMAs onto the chart. And I have no clue why it's taking a while. Yep. So basically you can see the price touched, the 100 weekly moving average right here, and considerable buying pressure like on the dot at this point. And we broke above it, and we've come back and retested this area of value which is previously resistance as support. Definitely a positive sign, and right now we're trading above the 50 weekly as well. So if the 50 weekly holds, and if we come back and retest it maybe with a green candle on the 4 hourly or daily, could be a good entry point. But again, not financial advice, I'm just telling you what the charts tell me. And yep, so this long-term trend line was support. We've broken below it. So reclaiming it will take a bit of volume, but hopefully it happens soon. And that is it for Suprajit Engineering. Moving on to the next stock, which is also a part of the Marcellus portfolio. It is Garware Technical Fibers. And I'm pretty sure these are mentioned in the Diamonds in the Dust book. I remember reading about this in one of Saurabh Mukherjee's books. I would definitely recommend it to anyone interested in investment philosophies. And I think Mr. Mukherjee and Marcellus have formulated one of the most safest and most rooted in science their investment thesis at least. So Garware Wallropes is one of India's largest players in the textile sector. Of late, they've branched out into other fields such as salmon aquaculture and also stuff like high performance polymers, fishing nets, sport nets, safety nets, aquaculture cages. So they have a wide portfolio of products which are in demand in the market. And if you look at the stock's all-time high, it is made an all-time high of like 4033, but it's currently trading at roughly 2900. So, at least assuming that the stock reclaims its all-time high, quite a bit of profit to be made there. Company has reduced debt; it's almost debt-free. Definitely a positive sign. And moving down to the profit and loss statement, sales, as you can see, growing up steadily year on year. 2020 was a bad year for most companies. Operating profit also has increased. Profit before tax has increased year on year. Net profit also, if you're able to see, at least a marginal increase year on year. And if you look at the stock price, 51% year on year, which is exceptional. 5 year to 30%, 39%. The stock is made money for people who have bought in, and right now it is at a good entry point. And if we look at net cash flows, 2021, I'm guessing, was a year where we invested mainly a lot in infra, and it's sort of repaying in 2022 has been net positive so far. And let's look at the technicals. Let me just remove the EMAs and sort of we'll take a look at what the bear price action tells us. And it's pretty evident, this is why I love technical so much. Charts don't have emotions, charts don't have any biases, charts don't lie. So it's just raw data and numbers and math and buyer and seller psychology, and that's all there is to it. Technical analysis, basically, it tells you where people buy in, it tells where people sell stocks, and just being able to read these patterns in the market is a short recipe for success, right? So it's a great skill to have. There's literally no downside to learning the skill, so I definitely recommend people invest at least a little bit of time in learning how to read a candlestick chart. Cool. So let's look at these areas of value. There was this long-term trend line, which was resistance, and we've been rejected once, twice, thrice, broke above it briefly, got rejected at this area of value of roughly 3,500, came back down again. This is this an area of value? Yes, it is. Let me just drop that on the chart as well. So this is the thing with high time frame analysis, right? So this basically tells you what institutional players look at. So the day-to-day movements, maybe uh, analysis is a little hard because there are so many different areas of value which you can identify on the smaller time frames. But when you chart on the weekly, it gives you the zoomed out perspective and definitely helps a lot. So right, this area value was support. We broke below it, tested it as resistance, and we've been trading below ever since. Now, if you look at it, I think we're in the middle of forming some sort of cup and handle pattern. And assuming we retest this at some point and break above it, this trend line could be a good entry point. So keep your eyes on these levels of 3,250 to 280, and also this trend line at roughly around 3,200. Could be good entry points, at least in my opinion. And at least looking at good levels to be accumulating the stock where we are right now. We're trading at 2,800. So if price touches this level of 2,850, psychological level could be area of value again, support here, support here, support here. So if prices touches these levels, I would be looking to enter the stock. And if this level breaks, then this area of value of 2,800, and if that breaks as well, then you have this area of value of roughly 2,675 to 2,720, right? And let's hope we never come down and test these levels. So these are important levels to be monitoring for Garware technical. And let me just add the EMAs on the chart as well. Yep, so you can see where did we take support, uh, you know, when price dumped on the dot on the 100 weekly moving average. And as you can see, I'm guessing as we trade either sideways or, and where are we rejected here? We broke above the EMAs briefly, hit our head on this resistance, and then we've come back down. This was support. We traded roughly around the EMAs for a while, but negative price action, negative sentiment in the market has pushed down the price to these levels, and we're below the EMAs. So I think the first order of action, at least, is for the 100 weekly EMA to sort of tighten. And I'm guessing we could consolidate in this range for a while. And if that happens, then I'm hoping price breaks above the EMAs and we come back and retest this EMA band. And then we go on this bullish run where we break above this trend line, come back and retest it, and then, sort of test resistance, come back and test new highs as support, and then continue this journey. So that is the best case bullish scenario, at least for me. And in my view, at least according to my research, this is definitely a good stock, but this isn't buying advice. Please do your own research and do your due diligence before you buy into the stock. So that's it for me from today, for today. And I hope videos like this help. I know very few people watch these videos on a daily basis, but if this does help, please do drop a comment or share it with your friends. It definitely helps, right? And thank you. Happy investing. Buy only with confirmation, trade only with confirmation. Don't trade against the trend. And yep, happy investing, happy trading.